Gang's all here thanks to Biden's open border, the borderline. All we need are these faces right here. I've seen faces like this in Michigan already. Chances are anybody who lives in Texas, Arizona, Nevada, California, Chicago has seen faces like this as well. The article that I cannot find, however, was the drug gangs, the violent Central American drug gangs that sell the meth, have moved into Puget Sound. Pop, you were stationed in Seattle for a while at Lewis.
Mm-hmm. I was 40 minutes away. No, 37 minutes away from Seattle.
Oh, actually, Steve, was it from Courier Journal? Is that the one you're looking for? All right, I've got those up. I'll drop it in the private chat there for you.
Okay.
Let me know if that's the right one.
I'm looking at one right here.
Yeah, I don't know how I lost that. Here we go.
It's from USAT. The level of violence is terrifying. Mexican cartels targeting tranquil Puget Sound City.
There we go. We got it. We're good.
That's it. Yeah, it's the same.
That level of violence is terrifying. Mexican cartels target tranquil Puget Sound. So Puget Sound, for those of you who do not know, is a nice area in Washington, and that's where the nice people live and the nice houses are.
I used to scuba dive in the Puget Sound 2 times a month for years.
Yeah. It is a really, really nice place. These drug gangs have figured out that Americans are stupid, weak, lazy, and our police have been completely hobbled. So they'll buy houses in these nice neighborhoods. And now you've got a violent drug cartel living next to you in your $500,000 house on Puget Sound.
That's bad.
That is bad. Port Orchard, Washington, a Mexican super cartel brought its deadly drugs and violence to the tranquil and remote waterfront community of Port Orchard, a 90-minute ferry ride west of Seattle. So this is way down the Sound.
Yeah.
Here on the Kitsap Peninsula, attracts hikers, bikers, golfers, boaters, and members of a top U.S. target. The cartel is the Jaliscos. This is the one where I told you their Mexican Special Forces 2 battalions defected.
3 battalions.
3? Was it 3?
3.
Oh.
At least that's what I read.
I believe it. The cartel known as CJNG set up a meth conversion lab here years ago as part of a Western Washington drug cell that pummeled the region. Now, for you to understand what this means, these guys no longer have any boundaries. They are no longer afraid of you. Here's what Puget Sound normally looks like. Here's a nice picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
These Jaliscos are incredibly well equipped, incredibly dangerous. Here's another picture of the town that they're invading. And they will just go through and systematically kill law enforcement and anybody who gets in their path. These guys do not care.
Yep.
They'll take the town over like an old bad Western movie. And here on the screen is a picture of that cartel. That's not an organized government army. That is a drug cartel army. You care to identify some of the weapons that are there?
Oh, there's 50s, there's AK-74s. You can tell by the straighter magazines.
Yeah.
There's a 240 on the guy on the right.
Yep.
Pig gunner.
Yep.
And
there's a 203.
I didn't see. Oh yeah, there's a 203
on the third guy from the right, and then the guy on the 50. See that on his back there?
That's an AR-15, isn't it?
No, that's a drum-fed 40 mic.
Wow!
Look at the drum.
Right, I don't know if that's
back there.
Is it?
Yeah, that looks like a drum.
But I mean, this is crazy ass shit right here.
Yeah, this is real serious bad news, and these guys are in sleepy American suburban neighborhoods now. If they decide to, they will just take the town, and it will take a real serious effort to
take it back. Yeah.
Yeah,
that is how you make no-go zones, which already exist all over the EU.
That is correct.
I mean, it's already taken place in the EU. You can see examples in Sweden.
Yes.
In
Malmo,
France.
Malmo is completely no-go now.
Yeah.
It's completely overrun by Turks.
There you go.
Yep. And because of the legislation and government in Washington, citizens can no longer defend themselves because, well, hey, the 2A, that doesn't matter to us anymore.
We're just going to have to start defending ourselves, period.
Like I said when we started, it's just a matter of time before people say, you know what? My government doesn't really have my best interest at heart. Fuck them. We're going to have to defend ourselves. Texas is already doing it. They've shut their border down.
Yes.
And it's starting to overwhelm the states next to Texas because they're just going around Texas now.
Yeah. So the stuff that you're allowing you to see is things like this: scooter riding illegals drag woman down street and into the pole on a video in wave of migrant crime. Surveillance video captures suspected migrant moped muggers. Now, for those, this is another thing that is a phenomenon in particularly North Africa and South America, and you might have even seen this. There are criminal moped gangs,
Yeah,
and Italy as well. We were told to watch out when we were in Vincenza for the moped snatchers
or the assassins.
Yeah.
That happened in South America all the time.
It happened
in the 80s and 90s.
Italy when a naval admiral was assassinated back in like 1980. I think it was Admiral Dozer. He was killed by a moped gang, by Red Brigades. This has come to America. It is here now. These gangs rove around on mopeds, and this is the low-level stuff. We took it all the way to the extreme, showing you Puget Sound right away.
Mm-hmm.
This is now the other end of the spectrum, but this
is the beginning.
Is like cockroaches.
It's the beginning.
And where there's one of these gangs, there will be hundreds, and it will spread from city to city to city. New York also has a problem with Venezuelan prostitution. The Venezuelan prostitutes just walking around in the street with like no tops.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Because they don't care.
Yeah. I mean, and they probably were trafficked up here.
Yes, that is correct. Members of a migrant crime gang, I love how they use the word migrant, like we're supposed to be sympathetic to that, dragged a woman down a New York City street, grabbing her purse and setting her into a steel pole. The incident happened in late December, but the video gained widespread attention on Monday when police announced arrests. Well, these police will do these arrests, and then the DAs
just let them go.
They just let them go.
Yeah, or probation.
Yeah.
And like, this is beyond, when it gets to this level and you have prosecutors letting them go or judges letting them go, that is not done by accident.
No, that is absolutely by design. And people say, well, what do we do? They're the judges. And so here's the thing about
number 7, corrupt leaders, money, blackmail, extortion.
That is correct. What is going to end up eventually having to happen is people are going to have to, 1, grow a pair.
Mm-hmm.
2, we're going to have to organize ourselves. And there are laws about these things and about judges like this and about politicians like this. There are laws on the books.
Yep.
We just need the courage to start enforcing them.
Here's another thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to pass laws so you can't organize and form your own militia. You can't train.
Yes. A Democrat, Jamie Raskin out of Maine, has attempted to put a bill out there. I don't remember the number of the bill, but it is so that you cannot form a private militia of any kind, which is the first clause of the Second Amendment.
Yes, it is.
Of the Bill of Rights.
Plus, you have the right to congregate.
Correct.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And listen, I mean, if this thing gets really bad, it's kind of, for a while, it's going to devolve into, a bunch of small actions, 6, 12, 25 guys on, at a time. And you need to have small unit tactics for that.
Oh, you're talking about that. I was talking about the judge level. I was going to say it's already gotten bad. The Christmas killer who ran over a parade of grandmothers and children, he got like 6 years. But the guy who bumped a girl in Charlotte, and the video is there, you can see he just barely hits her.
Yeah.
And then she's seen afterwards sitting on the sidewalk having a cigarette, but then she has a heart attack. That guy got 441 years.
Wow.
They're calling it white supremacy. Or the Ahmaud Arbery case in Georgia, where the guy who was holding the camera filming as the other guy fought with Ahmaud Arbery.
And he got 17
years.
The guy
filming no, he didn't. He got life.
Life. I thought he got
the
17.
guy holding the camera sitting in the truck got life.
Wow. Yeah, this is listen, there's only so many instances where this happens to our citizens before they say, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yep. And to twist the knife a little bit more, going to the corrupt judges, there was an incident where a few basketball Americans decided to break and enter into a home with a young child.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's just say the judge also likes his... he's a connoisseur of chicken and waffles and watermelon. That judge basically looked at that little girl and said, "You're a white supreme pizza because you're afraid of black men now."
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And
is cool.
the perpetrators got let out on probation and all this other stuff. So when shit hits the fan, I expect a little skirmishes here and there, but there's going to be some people planning some stuff.
Well, hang on.
Don't condone it, but
when the Civil War first kicked off, the first one, for the first year or so, there was a lot of small actions, and it was mostly people settling scores.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it also happened during the Revolutionary War too.
That is correct.
Listen, we're evil hairless monkeys.
Yeah.
I'm literally using historical examples here.
World War I and World War II experienced the same thing. There were incidents of skirmishes all the way up till 1946 after World War II.
Yeah.
Where people were just like, hey, let's go get a little payback.
Yep. And when I was in Iraq, I had to go and,
Oh, that's a payback culture, though.
Yeah. But I literally
payback.
would be in a battalion meeting, like, hey, we found 2 guys in the street. They were like decapitated, burned. Their joints are all drilled out. Could you go out there and find out what's going on? I'm like, absolutely not.
No. No.
Because guess what?
Yeah.
If they kick your door down and drag you out in the middle of the night and do that kind of shit to you, especially right after Saddam Hussein fell, you probably did something to piss some people off to make that possible.
Yep.
And I'm not risking my life or any of my men's lives to go deal with this shit. It's not my problem.
Yep. There's a saying that we use here in the Midwest: "Not my pig, not my farm."
There are sophisticated operators coming across the damn border.
There has to be.
Period. Edward Caban, who is the New York City Police Commissioner, said they are part of a migrant crime wave plaguing the city, and he likened them to ghosts. Here's the scary part. They're undocumented. They have no phones. They have no social media, and sometimes they have no names or date of birth. Another thing is they're not in any of our fingerprint systems.
Yeah, why would they be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these people are ghosts, which makes them extremely, extremely dangerous in the wrong environment.
Well, I know for a fact that my DNA and fingerprints are in the criminal database.
Oh, well, God, I'm in like 4 databases.
Yeah.
They fingerprinted the shit out of us when we got our clearance. I know you were fingerprinted at Machuca.
Yeah.
Because anybody who goes through there, just to get into the skiffs, you got to come out and do a little thing.
Yeah.
So the 30-year-old alleged ringleader of this remained at large as police and marshals were trying to track him down. Good luck with that. So while that's all happening here in New York and Chicago and Puget Sound, we've got an actual serious militarized cartel that, oh, wait, they're actually Mexican special forces. Meanwhile, Americans kidnapping in Mexico reignites debate over ending drug cartels' control. It's a never-ending war. So this is Matamoros, Mexico, down by the west side of Mexico.
Listen, Mexico at the U.S. border and maybe about 70 or 80 miles south of the American border is a fucking shit show now.
Yeah.
It is terrible. I know several individuals who have moved down to Mexico and are retired there. They live out in some small areas. But with what's going on in the world, what the fuck are these guys thinking? Because there's no protection for them down there.
More protection than there is here. They can probably shoot back down there.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where we can't shoot back down. So Kidnap the Gringo has been a big gang thing in Mexico and the South American states for quite some time now.
Forever.
For quite some time now.
Yeah.
But it really picked up about 20 years ago.
Well, during the drug war.
During the drug war, sure.
Because when I went down there, they briefed me on that. You cannot roll out of the gate without a minimum of 4 people.
Minimum of 4 guys.
Preferably 8.
Yes, I know. We had that conversation when I was down in La Paz.
Yeah. You cannot go to the bathroom by yourself.
Nope.
If you go to a discotheque, you have to travel. I mean,
do not leave the compound. We were at a compound.
Yeah, and in fact, my PTSD goes off. Like when I go to a public restroom, I have to go. I wait for a stall that has a locking door.
I did that today.
Yeah,
I did.
I don't piss in the urinal
exactly that today.
I saw the pictures of one of our operators who got stabbed in both of his fucking kidneys while taking a piss, and he didn't even make it to the emergency room. He bled out before he even got there.
Yeah,
holy shit, that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I today went into a bathroom and checked the whole thing before using it at all. This is actually from ICE. This is an overview of their gang situations. Transnational Criminal gangs pose an immediate, clear, and present danger to the... There's that phrase, clear and present danger. That is a real-world phrase.
Yes, it is.
To the security of the homeland and its communities. Gangs are involved in a myriad of criminal activity, including murder, extortion, etc. You know all of this already. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has committed significant resources to this fight, but they don't have enough. In doing so, ICE's Homeland Security Investigations and Enforcement Removal Operations combined their unique authorities to target criminal activity and administrative immigration violations of known or suspected gang members. None of this goes anywhere, okay? ICE is talking a really good game here.
Yes,
Homeland
they're not doing
Security
nothing.
is talking a really good game here. In the end, because of the prosecutors, all the way up to the DOJ, most of these violent gang members never get deported. They deport a couple for show.
Yes.
And then they'll put his face on, we got one. We deported him. And there's literally 34 million behind him.
Here's the thing. Once this goes into a war footing, when enough people have had enough and start taking action, they will organize, and then it will be game on.
Or they'll just start taking territories in the U.S. where they think they can take them.
Yeah.
They'll find a small town with a small population that's older that can't defend themselves, and they'll take the town. They've done it all. They did it in Colombia. They did it in Bolivia. One of the biggest problems we had is rolling into a damn town, and the entire thing was Bolivian cartel.
Well, what the thing is, like the drug cartel down in South America, a lot of them would move into an area and go, "You're all working for me now." And if you said no, they killed you.
Exactly. Exactly that. Exactly that. And at the time when I was down in Bolivia, the president of Bolivia was a former coke dealer.
Great.
That helps.
Yeah. Well,
Really.
this is what I noticed when I played around down there. Now, I was never there for long periods of time, very short.
We were there for about 10 days.
Yeah. But the thing is they had a list of all of the people who were either knew they were growing cocaine or suspected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were like a turbo asshole and you decided to like kill people, enslave people, you went to the top of the list. Mm-hmm. That list was so long, we couldn't even get to them all.
No, there's no way.
It was like the top 20, 25 on the list. They got like 95% of the effort.
Right. Yeah. We were down there because the North Koreans were dabbling in that realm in order to launder money. So we were tracking that element of things, but we saw a lot of it because there were a lot of you type of guys down there at that time operating in the same AO.
Yeah.
Basically, we were just collecting data and going, have you seen any guys that didn't look Bolivian? What do you mean by that? Oh, they smell like kimchi, a little bit.
Yeah. Gotcha.
ERO identifies gang members by checking an alien's background in federal law enforcement databases. What's wrong with that statement? What did we just read?
Yeah.
They're not in any databases.
No.
Interviews with the aliens and information received from law enforcement partners. Again, what information? This information is flagged according to ICE's enforcement systems. ERO officers removed 5,872 known or suspected gang members.
Hang on. I got to read this super chat real quick.
Do it.
This is from Billy Buffalo.
Yeah.
He's from Herkimer, New York.
Oh.
I hung out in Herkimer all the time. In fact, I had a bar fight down there in town.
Yes.
It was more like a bar. It was a bar push with being thrown out the front door. And then I got a summons 2 days later from the police to get yelled at officially, where I had to admit to disturbing the peace.
Whatever just happened to a bar fight? Whatever happened to a old-fashioned bar fight?
Like I was literally 2 days later, I'm at the gas station filling up my cop car. The city, Herkimer, was it Herkimer or was the sheriff? I don't remember. They're like, hey, man, we got some reports you're involved in a bar fight the other day. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because, look, we're just going to give you an appearance ticket. You just got to go down there and clean this up. And I remember I'm going there like, we're going to find you for disturbing the peace. But all of this will go away if you don't get in trouble for 6 months. I'm like, oh, okay. I had to stand there and go, Your Honor, there was peace. And I disturbed it. And you could hear like everyone laughing. I paid a fine and I left.
That's fantastic. Whatever happened to a bar? We used to get bar fights all the time. It was like the sport in Detroit.
Look, in New York State, you cannot do any of it. Their whole legal system is fucked 3 ways to Sunday.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's get on. We're
on it. Here. We got it. So this again is from the actual ICE website. They talk about MS-13. Most people know who they are. They're incredibly dangerous. They're all over the Midwest right now and along the East Coast. I think a lot of them gotten up into North Carolina and that region, but they're really dangerous. These are the ones that'll hack you up and stuff your body into a barrel.
They'll all do that.
These guys enjoy it, though. This is like their thing.
Yeah.
That's their thing.
And they're in California, they're all over the place.
California, you've got Sureños, Norteños, you've got a lot of the Baja gangs, and the MS-13s haven't really been able to dig in there, even though that's where they got their start.
Oh, so they
haven't been able to come back. MS-13 started in a barrio in LA.
Yeah. And then
and moved back down to El Salvador.
Yeah.
And then they tried to come back, and now they're in the Midwest because they couldn't dig into California because the cartels, the Mexican cartels, have gotten into California. And now the MS-13 gangs don't have the influence they once had there.
Yeah.
It's all very weird. There's a lot to it, a lot of moving parts. Basically, what's happening is all of these illegals that are moving in are bringing gangs with them, the likes of which Americans do not know how to deal with, which is the entire point of our show tonight.
Correct.
You need to know this stuff is happening. You need to be aware of it because these are really, really seriously dangerous individuals. And if you see them, don't fuck around because you will find out.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared to deal with that level of violence.
Yeah, thus the title Anarchy.
In the USA.
Yes.
So beginning in early 2015, that's 10 years ago, law enforcement began seeing many MS-13 members residing in Mendota, California area. The city of Mendota is a small community approximately 4 to 5 minutes west of Fresno. So ICE was targeting them as well, which probably explained the thinning of the herd there. They were big in LA, but they're not anymore, like I said. Through the course of the operation, the investigative teams in Fresno obtained information specific to acts of violence that were being committed by MS-13 operating throughout the United States, including locations in Houston, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Oakland, Baltimore, and New York City. The information that was passed by HSI Fresno and the investigative team was credited with in preventing 11 acts of violence. 11 acts of
11,
violence.
a whole 11. Oh my God.
This is what I'm talking about. They give you, our government and our law enforcement give you these dog and pony shows. It doesn't even begin to touch the problem.
No, and the only way that you're going to actually be able to touch this problem effectively is that you're literally going to have to wake up a majority of the people and move them into a war footing.
Yes.
And then make a concerted effort to crush these guys out.
Yes. Based on this, at least 15 felony arrests were made during this phase of the investigation, as well as information leading to the arrest and or clearance of 18 homicides.
Ooh.
Whole 18.
It's not even 2 dozen.
Okay. And that was in 2015.
Okay.
So that entire operation netted them 3,886 transnational gang criminal arrests, including 452 MS-13 specific arrests. What this tells you is they're barely scraping the top of the icing on the cake. These gangs are huge and they're multinational and they go back and forth over the border with impunity.
And they're organized. Yeah. They have their own intel elements. They have teams that bribe and, get influence for more information. They're extorting, blackmailing people in the law enforcement industry. Well, I mean, let's face it, they're humans too. Shit happens.
Yeah. Yep.
There was a scene in the. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on.
Oh, I was just going to make a quick joke here, but from what I'm hearing, ICE and all these other federal agents, they're just kissing the tip of the dick.
That's
because
correct.
if they try to go any further, that dick is going to be forced upon us, and tonsils will be buttered.
Here's the thing with the alphabet agencies. They have been diversity hiring for decades.
Yes.
And a majority of them, they're just not equipped mentally or physically or spiritually to deal with that kind of evil.
That is correct.
They're just not.
That is correct. The reference to them having intelligence and stuff, there's a scene in the Tom Clancy movie Clear and Present Danger where the cartels are employing a DGE agent. DGE is the Cuban intelligence.
Yep.
And they were pretty good. They were pretty good. I don't know how they are now. I've been out of the game for 20 years. My day, they were pretty good. And they went to the cartels like crazy. We know they were down in Bolivia. I don't know if you ever encountered any of them there, but we encountered Cubans several times.
Like my experience down there is very limited. So I don't have
mostly ground guys.
Yeah, I carried a radio, got yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
You know, did what I was told, moved where I was wearing, ran for my life a few times.
Went to places, did things.
Yes.
Yeah. We had one ugly helicopter extraction.
Ooh. That's
with
good.
the one wheel, and you're like running up
yeah,
and you drop a bunch of gear and you get on the bird and you're like, fuck, I lost a camera. And we had one ugly extract. But we knew that there were Cuban DGE down there. If there's Cuban DGE down there, guess what's coming across our border? Same damn thing. They're coming across with the Jaliscos, the ones that we talked about that were in Puget Sound. I guarantee you they've got real, actual intelligence officers with them. If I had cartel kind of money, the first thing I'd do is buy 2 or 3 of those guys.
And they do.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, that was another thing.
Defensive purposes. You're using to be able to move your stuff around without being picked off.
I mean, that was another thing that was briefed to us, that there's American mercenaries getting paid by the drug cartels. And
we know that's true.
And those are trigger pullers. But who says, like, hey, how about we hire other people other than, like, let's hire some grunt adjacents who have different skill sets?
There were rumors of a Green Beret operating in our AO.
Yeah, Delta got him.
Oh, they did get him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. As far as that's what I was told.
Bolivia?
I don't know the details. I've heard the stories about that.
There was a guy down there who was very effective, and he was an American Green Beret.
Yeah, and they whacked him.
Good. So what's coming across our border, now that we've been talking about the South Americans a little bit, is Venezuela's worst gangsters have crossed into the U.S. illegally and are unleashing chaos in Dallas, Chicago, and Miami, with fearful residents saying they've had tires slashed, windows shot out, retribution for reporting them to the cops. Like we've said over and over, these gangs are not what you're used to.
Nope.
This is not Boys in the Hood. This is not the Crips and the Blood having a 30-second shootout in cars in Compton.
No.
These are highly organized, highly dangerous gangs, and they will retaliate. They will go to the point where if you report them to the police, they find out that it's you, they'll kill your family. They'll leave you alive. They'll kill your family.
That's unfortunate, but that does happen.
Yeah.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.